This familiar restaurant has been our partner for 13 whole years, and I dropped millions of yuan here every single year, never owing a single penny. Yet, right after our annual year-end banquet ended, when I asked the front desk for a simple pack of tissues, the boss lady, Ma Rong, actually smirked and told me that a single pack of tissues cost 10 yuan. This unbelievable sight, right in front of me, left me completely stunned, frozen in place. This place has always been overpriced, with tiny portions and utterly average flavor. It was only because of its convenient location, right next to my company, that I chose it for hosting guests. Whether for client dinners or company galas, I booked them all here. Seeing me stand there in silence without pulling out cash, the boss lady's expression instantly flipped. President Huang, I'm just running a small business here, you know? You're a renowned big-time boss. You're not seriously going to be stingy over a few pocket change coins, are you? Fine. Take it. Keep the change. Thank you so much, President Huang. Safe travels, President Huang. The very next day, I returned to the office and issued a company-wide notice. Understood, President Huang. Starting from today, every single invoice from Rongshan Restaurant will be strictly rejected for reimbursement. No exceptions. 13 years ago, inside a tiny, dilapidated eatery, the boss lady served piping hot dishes with an honest, genuine smile. Sir, please give us a try and tell me how it tastes. 8 years ago, during the restaurant's first major expansion, she specifically reserved the premier VIP room number 1 just for me. Without loyal VIP patrons like you, President Huang, there would be no Ma Rong standing here today. 5 years ago, the restaurant took over the entire floor, hosting a grand and lavish grand opening. As she navigated smoothly among the high society guests, she fully exuded the aura of a successful businesswoman. When she clinked glasses with me, she still offered words of gratitude, except those words of thanks sounded like nothing more than hollow, superficial pleasantries. Over the past 13 years, the money I spent here could probably stack up into a massive mountain of tissues. No, it could probably buy out several tissue manufacturing factories entirely. A feeling of absolute, absurd mockery slowly welled up from deep within my heart. I wasn't angry at all. Strangely enough, I didn't feel even a flicker of rage, just a sense of cold indifference, a hollow emptiness, and an overwhelming sense of irony. Seeing me just stand there motionlessly, without making a single move, the overly eager smile on her face faded slightly. President Huang, I'm running a small business here. Everything comes at a cost, you know? As a grand big boss with such a booming, flourishing career, you wouldn't really petty quarrel over a tiny bit of pocket change with us, right? Ma'am, it's just a single pack of tissues. Why not let it slide? What about a pack of tissues? You expect me to just give it away for free? Is 10 yuan not real money? You've only been here a few days, and you're already siding with outsiders. 68, do you even realize how brutal the current economic climate is? Do you have any idea how brutal the economic environment is right now? Do you have any idea how difficult running a business actually is? Utilities, rent, labor costs. Which of those doesn't cost hard cash? Think a pack of tissues isn't worth anything? Think I'm just being petty and penny pinching? Fine. This 10 renminbi will be deducted directly from your salary, just so you learn your lesson. Here, keep the change. Oh, President Huang, look at you being so polite. How could I possibly take this? Thank you so much, President Huang. You're truly generous, President Huang. Next time you visit, I'll definitely instruct the kitchen to reserve the freshest and finest ingredients just for you, boss lady. Doing business requires focusing on a steady, long-term stream. It's always best to keep your vision set on the far horizon. Yes. President Huang is absolutely right. One must always maintain a far-reaching, grand vision. Issue an internal notice immediately. From now on, all company hosting and banquet expenses associated with Rongshan Restaurant will be strictly rejected for approval. President Huang, do you mean for Rongshan Restaurant? Every single invoice will be denied approval? That's right. Execute it right away. Is this for real? Are we really never going to Rongshan Restaurant again? The announcement is already out. How could it be fake? President Huang decided it personally. Honestly, we should have switched places long ago. At last year's banquet, that fish was clearly not fresh at all. The boss lady rambled on and on forever about high operating costs. And in the end, she only gave us a paltry 2% discount, acting as if she was bestowing some grand, noble favor on us. You're actually considered lucky. Last time I was entertaining President Lee, the client praised a small dish of roasted peanuts as delicious and asked for a little bit more. When it came time to settle the bill, I realized that tiny dish of peanuts was charged separately. 58 yuan for a single dish of peanuts. 58 whole yuan. And to make matters worse, the boss lady insisted. They were specially selected premium peanuts with high procurement costs. Issuing invoices is painfully slow, and she frequently makes mistakes on them. The reimbursement process gets stalled every time. It's infuriating. If President Huang hadn't explicitly designated that spot, who on earth would willingly go there just to get pissed off? I heard they treat their own employees with extreme stinginess too. Staff meals are basically just watery soup. And even doggy bagging leftovers requires reading the boss lady's mood. Year-end bonuses get constantly delayed and dragged out. Their business footprint is huge, but their hearts are incredibly narrow-minded. President Huang handled this brilliantly this time. Looks like even he reached his absolute breaking point. Something definitely pushed him way past his limit. Happy New Year, President Huang. As usual, shall I arrange the spring opening banquet for you? Trying to rip me off? You're way too naive. That guy named Huang. Oh, my dear President Huang. Do you seriously still think this price is too high? I've honestly crunched the numbers until my hands are sore. The price I offered you is literally the exact cost price. I wouldn't dare make even a single cent of profit from you. You have no idea. The situation this year is so brutal, we can barely survive. Pork prices skyrocketed, vegetable prices shot up. And don't even get me started on labor costs. Do you know how ridiculously hard it is to hire servers nowadays? It doesn't feel like hiring staff at all. It feels like inviting grand ancestors back home to be worshipped. President Huang, my restaurant might look impressive on the outside, but it's just a flashy facade with zero profits inside. Giving a 10 discount means not only working for free, but I'd actually have to operate at a loss just to host your banquet. Do you really have the heart to watch me run my business into a loss? Boss lady, I completely understand your struggles, but as luck would have it, just yesterday, I happened to check with Junhua Hotel and several other 5-star hotels for the exact same menu standards. Their quotes didn't even reach 3/4 of your total price. F5-star hotels. President Huang, you can't just look at the price tag alone. Their ingredients are all frozen quality, whereas my pork comes from locally raised farm hogs, slaughtered fresh on the very same day. Besides, we've been doing business together for over 13 long years now. Doesn't this mutual trust, this deep-seated bond of loyalty built over all these years, really mean nothing compared to those cold, soulless hotels? My restaurant has remained rock solid for over a decade, maintaining absolute integrity with zero deception. Boss lady, since all your ingredients are supposedly top-notch, and you aren't making a single cent of profit, then I feel it would be even more unfair to let you suffer a financial loss. For this year's spring opening banquet, I'll take my business elsewhere. Let's leave it at that. Here she goes again. President Huang, please just let me explain. Out of respect for our 13 years together, I'll slice off 5 for you, all right? President Huang, ignoring me like this really isn't nice at all. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. President Huang, boss lady Ma, Rong from Rongshan Restaurant has arrived. She even brought gifts along. Ma Rong, what's she doing here? Show her in. President Huang, wishing you immense prosperity on your grand opening. Just a small token of my appreciation. House-made rice cakes and cured sausages to bring good luck. May President Huang's company soar to new heights step by step this year, overflowing with endless wealth and fortune. Thank you for your thoughtfulness, boss lady. President Huang, regarding the spring opening banquet, I've thought it all through. Completely. I tossed and turned all night long, and in the end, I felt that our deep bond spanning so many years shouldn't be severed over a minor misunderstanding. I've already prepared all the dishes according to our old tradition, using only the absolute freshest ingredients. As for VIP room, number 1, with stock delivered fresh this morning, I've already locked it down for you. Precisely the room boasting the absolute best view. As for the price, I'll grit my teeth and slash off a full 10. Seriously, I cannot go even a single fraction lower than this. Doing this means taking a direct loss on my end. Just to consider it my sincere apology to you. Boss lady. I made myself crystal clear over the phone yesterday. This year's spring opening banquet has already been booked at Junhua Hotel. Junhua Hotel. I've even already paid the deposit in full. Junhua Hotel service and cuisine quality are truly worthy of that price point. President Huang, doing this is completely unfair. We've partnered together for over a decade. You just switch places at the drop of a hat, without giving me even a moment's grace period. All my ingredients are already fully prepared. Those fresh fish and live shrimp won't survive out of water for even half a day. Tell me, what am I supposed to do now? All these losses, that is entirely your own problem. From start to finish, I never once confirmed this order. It was you who unilaterally prepped the ingredients beforehand. Running a business, do you seriously not even understand a basic rule like this? Huang Baoqiang, I've given you far too much respect, haven't I? For over a decade, I treated you like a grand deity, always reserving the best VIP room exclusively for you, and making sure you got the first taste of every new dish. Without my Rongshan restaurant, would those high and mighty clients of yours have ever been treated so lavishly? Now that your company has grown big and strong, spreading its wings, you instantly turn your back on me to suck up to those stinking five-star hotels. You ungrateful wretch, you backstabbing traitor. Just because you got a bit of cash, you think you're hot stuff now, huh? 231 Boss lady, I suggest you watch your mouth. Boss lady, I suggest you watch your mouth carefully. Get out of my way. Let me tell you right now, this spring opening banquet must take place in my venue today. The ingredients are prepped, so you will bear all the losses. Otherwise, I'm going to ruin this grand opening ceremony of yours completely. Boss lady, first off, I chose Rongshan Restaurant simply because it was close to my office. Purely out of convenience, not because you ever did me a favor. Over the past 13 years, the total amount of money I spent at your establishment surpassed 10 million renminbi. Every single transaction was paid fair and square with immediate cash on the spot. Between us, it was a purely business and commercial transaction, a strict cash and carry exchange. Neither of us owes the other anything. Secondly, you claimed the best VIP room was always reserved for me during Mid-Autumn Festival last year when I unexpectedly had to entertain a crucial VIP client from the north, Beijing, and called to reserve a room. You claimed the absolute best room had already been booked by President Wang. Offer me only a cramped, tiny box right next to the restrooms. In the end, it was my secretary who had to shell out 3 times the original price before you somehow managed to clear out a room for us. And you dare call this always reserving it exclusively for me. Thirdly, you said every new dish was given to me for a first taste. 3 years ago, when you launched that supreme seafood soup, listed at a staggering 3,800 renminbi per serving. My important client suffered severe food poisoning right after eating it. Later on, an insider employee revealed the truth. The lobsters delivered that day were never fresh to begin with. You guys used dead, frozen lobsters instead, specifically to whip up that overpriced signature specialty. Have you completely forgotten about that scandal already? As for sucking up to those so-called stinking 5-star hotels, at least they have crystal clear, transparent pricing, free tissues, and never dump hidden costs onto their customers' shoulders. They certainly wouldn't slap an absurd 10 renminbi price mark on a pack of tissues, just to humiliate their own employee right in front of everyone. Nor would they humiliate a loyal patron of 13 years. I didn't mark up the price randomly. Those tissues are ultra-premium quality. The base cost was already 8 renminbi and 90 cents. Whether those tissues were premium or not, you know best in your heart. Just like that 58 renminbi dish of roasted peanuts, or that stale, spoiled fish you refuse to replace, or making invoicing a complete nightmare at every turn, ignoring walk-in retail customers with utter coldness, and constantly skimming off staff meals and year-end bonuses. Boss lady, do you really want me to expose all these dirty laundry items, one by one, right here in front of everyone? Rongshan Restaurant reaching where it is today, is undeniably linked to the unwavering support of longtime clients, myself included, yet you treated that loyal backing as an entitlement to greedily demand more as if it were natural, turning genuine goodwill into scheming calculations, and twisting a restaurant's hard-earned reputation into bitter resentment that repels everyone away. For today's spring opening banquet, I will definitely not cancel my reservation over there. From this day forward, all company corporate dining and team celebrations, I will absolutely never set foot inside Rongshan Restaurant ever again. What you've lost today isn't just this single business order of mine. What you've lost is the very foundation of trust and integrity. Ever since that precise moment, when you demanded 10 RMB from me for a single pack of tissues, I made up my mind completely. From this moment on, I will never spend a single cent at Rongshan Restaurant ever again. Ma'am, please show yourself out. Huang Baoqiang, you sure of something? Just you wait and see. Let's see how much longer this company of yours can stay so smug without my restaurant around. Let's see where you'll go to entertain your important clients in the future. A minor unexpected disturbance. Everyone, please forgive the disruption. Thank you all for taking the time to attend today. As the new year begins, I hope we can put all unpleasantness far behind us, march forward hand in hand, and create even greater glory together. Director Huang, I heard you completely cut ties with Ma Rong from Rongshan Restaurant. Well done. That woman was getting more and more out of hand by the day. Last month when I took my family there for dinner, my kid accidentally broke a glass. Good grief, she actually insisted on charging me an 80 renminbi replacement fee, claiming it was imported crystal glass. What kind of crystal glass breaks at the gentlest touch, huh? I wanted to stop going there ages ago. I only went out of courtesy. For our long-standing history, now that you've taken the lead on this, I bet a massive chunk of our regular VIP patrons will start rethinking their options too. Director Huang, everything on Junyue Hotel's end has been fully confirmed. All preparations are set and ready to go. Just now, several clients privately mentioned to me that they've been fed up with Rongshan Restaurant for a long time coming, saying we honestly should have switched venues ages ago. Director Huang, here's something interesting. This month, several departments organized their own team celebrations, and the venue requests submitted were incredibly diverse. The feedback all said those new spots were fantastic. Affordable pricing and exceptionally attentive service. Looks like everyone wanted change of taste for a long time coming. Director Huang, your frequent visits were the absolute greatest pillar of support for me. Support, huh? A long-standing relationship shouldn't be used as leverage for greedy exploitation. Once a person's character becomes corrupted, no amount of flashy exterior can ever make up for a hollow, rotten heart. 350, Director Huang. Director Huang, I came here to apologize to you. Everything before was my fault. The tissue pack, the roasted peanuts, and even the invoice issues. It was all my doing. It was entirely my mistake. I know you don't trust me anymore, but I truly realize where I went wrong. Lately, business has plummeted catastrophically. Regular customers stopped showing up entirely, and we can't seem to retain any new customers either. I tossed and turned all night, unable to sleep, replaying everything that happened in the past over and over again. The more I reflected, the more I realized what a scumbag I've been. I should never have been so penny-pinching with you. I should never have acted so selfishly toward my own benefactor, throwing away 13 long years of mutual loyalty. I must have been completely blinded by sheer madness. Director Huang, could you please give me just one more chance? Can we partner up again, please? You name the price yourself. I promise to give you the absolute best discount, and the ingredients will strictly be top-tier quality. I'll sign a long-term contract with you right now. 1 year, 3 years, whatever you want. If that's too much, I just beg you to bring your team over for just a single meal, just to show other customers that you're still willing to visit my establishment. Boss lady, do you actually know what the fundamental core problem with your restaurant is? It isn't the prices, nor is it the flavor of the food, and it isn't even that single pack of tissues. It's because deep down in your heart, you stopped treating your customers like actual customers long ago, and you stopped treating your employees like human beings. You nitpicked over every single penny for a tissue pack, schemed over every tiny dish of roasted peanuts, and calculated every price surge for private dining rooms. You believed those were perks you were naturally entitled to receive, a debt of loyalty that regular patrons owed you. But that is not how mutual loyalty works. Loyalty means customers are willing to walk a few extra blocks just to eat at your restaurant. It means when you face tough times, they willingly lend you a helping hand, not for you to treat it as leverage to morally guilt trip and blackmail others, and certainly not for you to greedily exploit them. And you treat your employees the exact same way, cutting down their meal portions and dragging out their hard-earned bonuses and humiliating them over the pettiest little things, thinking that just because they rely on you to earn a living, they're forced to swallow their pride and endure absolute humiliation. But human hearts are made of flesh and blood, too. If they suffer endless abuse under your roof, how on earth could they possibly welcomingly smile at customers when an establishment is suffocated from top to bottom with toxic greed and bitter resentment? How can a customer ever feel comfortable eating there? You're standing here begging me right now, simply because your business can no longer stay afloat and you're terrified. But if your business was still managing to scrape by, would you honestly ever admit you were wrong? 415, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You just blame it on bad luck, call your regular patrons ungrateful bastards, and accuse your hardworking staff of being unappreciative. You aren't genuinely remorseful at all. Director Huang, I can change. I really can change. Then go ahead and change. But don't do it for my sake, nor to desperately salvage this business deal. Do it for yourself. Do it for the remaining employees who are still willing to stand by your shop, and for the future patrons who might still walk through your doors in the days to come. Whether a restaurant survives or crumbles depends entirely on the integrity of its owner's heart. If the heart is crooked, the business will fall right along with it. Go back and rediscover your lost integrity. As long as the food is fairly priced and honest, people will naturally return. Esteemed guest, how is the meal treating you today? Everything came out so fast, and the portions are super generous. When running an eatery, the absolute most essential rule is complete honesty and sincerity. Back when I took over this location, the previous boss lady wasn't actually a bad person at heart. In the early years, she worked exceptionally hard with genuine grit and sweat. It was only after the business expanded that arrogance completely consumed her. She became so ridiculously greedy that all her customers walked away, and even her own employees completely lost heart. When she finally left, she confessed to me that her single greatest regret was over a stupid pack of tissues, throwing away a loyal regular customer who had supported her for over a decade. She realized it wasn't about the 10 yuan cost, but that she had taken that customer's self-respect, thrown it onto the ground, and ruthlessly trampled on it. She said her bankruptcy was a completely deserved punishment. So how is she doing now? She went back to her hometown and opened a small breakfast stall in town, making a decent living, far from starving. Well, everyone chooses their own path. Fortunately, there's still a chance to start over, whether for a human being or for an establishment. It's just that the trust that was once betrayed is like spilled water. It can never be gathered back up again, and that is perhaps the most poetically fair price to pay. And right at this very moment, she probably never dreamed in her wildest nightmares that she would end up in such a pathetic state. The day she left the city, she couldn't even manage to carry along a single one of her precious mink coats. 13 years of vanity, riches, and glory vanished like a long, delusionary dream, and upon waking, all that past grandeur had completely evaporated into thin air, leaving behind only a lonely wanderer and endless, bitter regret. Slinking back, she slumped back to her hometown in Qingshui Town. On that cold, drizzling day, there was no swarm of employees rushing to cater to her every whim, nor were there any big-shot elites eagerly calling her Sister Ma. There was only a muddy dirt road and a dilapidated brick house leaking wind from every direction. To survive, she scraped together the very last coins remaining in her hands, and on the eastern side of town, right outside the local farmer's market, she set up a rickety, crooked little breakfast stall, selling the cheapest meat buns and fried dough sticks. In the beginning, it was absolute torture. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the blaring alarm clock sounded like a death toll. The damp, freezing country wind seeped straight into her very bones. Ma Rong's hands, which were used to flaunting diamond rings and rapidly counting stacks of cash, were now soaked in ice-cold dough water, stiffening like two bright red carrots. On the very first day of kneading dough, she collapsed in sheer exhaustion beside the stove, tears mixing with flour smudged across her face. Yet deep inside, she was still gritting her teeth, spewing bitter curses, cursing me for being a heartless, backstabbing traitor, cursing her head chef for having dirty, thieving hands, and cursing all those ungrateful diners, calling them a bunch of ungrateful, backstabbing traitors. Just wait until I get through this rough patch and stack up enough capital. I swear I'll take back everything I lost. However, harsh reality delivered a stinging slap right to her face. Running a breakfast stall in a small town, the profit margins were naturally razor thin, forcing every single penny to be meticulously tallied. A single meat bun went for 1 renminbi and 50 cents, and a fried dough stick sold for just 1 renminbi. Slaving away day in and day out from dusk till dawn, her daily profit could barely reach a paltry 100+ yuan at best. While packing up the stall at night, Ma Rong sat under the dim, flickering lamplight, emptying out all the crumpled, greasy small bills from her tin box onto the bed, smoothing out every single bill one by one, to recount them repeatedly. The scheming, penny-pinching habit that had only briefly lied dormant within her very bones for a few days instantly began to reawaken like venomous snakes. Selling stuff like this, what year or month will I ever get rich again? Ma Rong stared blankly at the pile of loose change, her gaze gradually shifting into something dark. It was a conditioned reflex, honed over 13 long years as a high-end restaurant boss lady. In her warped mindset, running a business purely by cutting down overhead costs was the absolute stupidest thing anyone could ever do. Pure water harbors no fish. Real profits are all scraped together from the invisible cracks and hidden loopholes. The following afternoon, while picking up inventory at the meat factory, her feet moved as if possessing a mind of their own, bypassing the daily fresh pork stalls, whose prices were firmly non-negotiable. As if possessed by demons and led by spirits, she turned straight into an unbranded, shady stall, tucked away in the deepest corner of the market. "Boss, how much is this meat? Since you're a new face around here, I'll give it to you at absolute base cost. 4 yuan a pound. This smell is way too strong, though. Mince it up real fine, load it up with plenty of scallions, ginger, and garlic. Then throw in half a pound of dark soy sauce and steam it on high heat. Who on earth could ever be sharp enough to notice? These country bumpkins with muddy hands and feet in this town, spending a mere 1 renminbi and 50 cents on a meat bun, and they expect to eat delicacies fit for kings. As long as it doesn't kill anyone, that's more than enough. Calculating every cent off a dish of roasted peanuts. Do you have any idea how brutal the economic environment is? Do you have any clue how ridiculously tough running a business actually is? Rent, coal, electricity, water. Which of those isn't bleeding me dry like a blood-sucking demon? If you want to change your fate, you can't afford to act like a saint. Give me 50 pounds of it. Not only the meat, but even the oil for frying dough sticks was completely swapped out by her. The clear, crystal-pure soybean oil that used to be replaced daily was now boiled over and over again until it turned a deep, murky red. A single vat of oil was reused dozens of times until a pitch-black, acrid foam surfaced on top, reeking with a pungent stench. Only then would she reluctantly splash in a tiny drop of fresh oil. Even for the bun dough, she secretly switched to the cheapest, low-grade baking powder. On the outside, the buns puffed up a size bigger, but inside, they were completely hollow and empty. Taking a single bite meant crumbs flaking and falling everywhere. Thanks to these shady, underhanded tricks, the profits from her breakfast stall instantly exploded, doubling right before her eyes. Watching the pile of cash inside her tin box grow larger with each passing day, all the physical exhaustion on Ma Rong's face completely evaporated. Even while kneading dough, her lips curled into that long-lost, smug, deceitful smirk that had been gone for so long. Suckers really are everywhere in this world, aren't they? She secretly mocked the townsfolk in her heart. The very people who lined up every early morning just to buy her meat buns. What the hell is a conscience anyway? How many pennies is a conscience even worth? However, she completely overlooked one fatal, deadly truth. Qingshui Town was no bustling metropolis. A major city is a vast, endless ocean of strangers. Even if you scam one Director Huang today, there will still be countless Director Lees and Director Zhang's stepping right in to replace them. In a big city, if a customer feels ripped off, the worst they'll do is vent online with a few angry complaints and never set foot in the shop again. But Qingshui Town was a tightly knit community bound by familiar faces, with a population of merely tens of thousands. Every single alley and every market stall here was deeply interconnected through an intricate web of tight-knit neighborhood relationships. There were no secrets here, and certainly zero tolerance for dirty fraudsters. Bad news travels fast, and Ma Rong's total downfall was fearfully drawing right near. All right, here are your meat buns, sir. Hey, you. Sister Ma, give me 2 meat buns and a fried dough stick. Make it extra crispy, all right? Coming right up. Dieli. Today's meat buns are extra fragrant. Make sure to eat them while they're piping hot. Hey, you name Ma. What on earth do you think you're pulling here? Is it too hot or something? Don't you play dumb with me, Ma. Rome, are these damn buns of yours even made with decent, proper meat? Huh? Do you treat all of us neighbors and folks in town like a bunch of brainless fools? The smell of this meat is completely off and weird. Taking one bite, it's nothing but cheap, disgusting, filthy fat. This is clearly not fresh meat at all. Did you seriously use spoiled, rotten meat to feed your own neighbors? Do you have even a single shred of human decency left for us old neighbors? Dieli. You can eat whatever food you want, but you can't just spew wild, reckless slander like that. This is meat I personally bought straight from the factory early this morning. Don't you know how ridiculously expensive meat prices are right now? I didn't even make an extra penny of profit off any of you. You standing here spitting venomous lies. Are you deliberately trying to ruin my stall's reputation? Huh? Reputation? Oh, ha! You actually still have the nerve to bring up the word reputation? Hey everyone, take a look at this. Look at this dough stick, the oil dripping off. It is completely pitch black. This is obviously recycled, toxic, waste oil that's been fried over and over for days on end. Do you treat us Qingshui Town locals like a bunch of starving beggars? Think we're easy targets to push around? Is that it? No wonder you closed down that big restaurant of yours back in the city. I bet you scammed and cheated your clients until you went broke and bankrupt, which is why you had to slink all the way back here, right? You. Don't you dare talk rubbish. Look at this wicked, godforsaken scammer trying to hit someone. She feeds us toxic, poisonous meat buns. And now that she's exposed, she's trying to resort to violence. Everyone, come over here and judge this for yourselves. Don't go. Don't smash my stuff. Police help. What if it's just a single pack of tissues? Did you expect me to give it away for free? Deduct it straight from her salary. What you've lost is the absolute bare minimum of what makes a human being. That is basic honesty and a clean conscience. Conscience, 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 conscience. Temporarily shutting down for rectification. How dare you try to sell such filthy, disgusting stuff? And to think you were someone who made it in the big city. Hey, little sister, if you got anything piping hot, bring out 2 bowls quick. Coming right up, sir. Look at that, little sister. This bowl of noodles from you is top-tier quality. Just look at this generous, massive portion size. From now on, my company crew is placing all our orders right here with you. Thank you so much, boss. As long as you guys come. I promise to always use the absolute best ingredients for everyone. Oh, isn't this stall owner Ma right here? So what's the deal? Came by again today to hunt for cheap, scrap meat scraps, huh? Brother Wong, give me 30 pounds of pork rump. Make sure to pick the absolute freshest cut, okay? I won't take even a single bit of excess fat. I know I was an absolute scumbag in the past, but now I truly want to start my life over. Brother Wong, just charge me market price. I won't short you a single penny. Sir, please enjoy it while it's piping hot. Dieli. This one. Consider my treat. If you eat this and find even a faint off smell or a hint of unfreshness, then I'm Rome will smash this oil vat to pieces today and get the hell out of Qingshui Town forever. Give me 2 more of those and a fried dough stick. Yes, right away. Here you go, sir. Careful, it's hot. Days quietly drifted by like smooth, flowing water. No one ever stepped forward to formally utter words of forgiveness to her face. But in a tight-knit community of familiar faces, the locals' taste buds were always the ultimate truth. Gradually, long, winding lines began forming in front of the breakfast stall once more. Everyone knew full well the Marong's meat buns were made using only the finest lean pork rump, and that the dough sticks at Marong's stall were fried in clean, high-grade oil. She no longer ran her business with shady, short-sighted greed, slaving away every single day from dusk till dawn after subtracting all overhead expenses. A single bun yielded a profit of merely 0 renminbi and 30 cents. When packing up the stall at night, she was still so utterly exhausted her entire back ached, still covered in the heavy stench of oil, smoke all over her body. Winter had arrived once again. On one particular early morning, heavy snow blanketed Qingshui town in blinding white. Marong sat on a small stool in front of her stall, taking advantage of a quiet moment before customers arrived. She poured out all the loose change from the tin box, 1 yuan bills, 5 jiao coins, and even tiny 1 jiao coins, scattered across the rough wooden tabletop. Her hands were cracked and scarred from the freezing cold, her fingernails caked with flour dust that no amount of washing could remove. Completely stripped of the refined, effortless grace she once possessed. Yet, as she smoothed out each individual bill and stacked them neatly into tight bundles, her movements were astonishingly gentle and tender. How peaceful she felt under the dim street lamp light, looking at the crumpled bills resting in her hands. A quiet, serene smile softly brushed across her lips. In this lifetime, I can finally sleep with a completely clear conscience. At long last. 1 yuan, 2 yuan, 3.5 yuan. This money was so meager and ridiculously hard-earned, but it was truly, completely clean.